Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in North Carolina. Sunrise is occurring as I'm speaking, and today I'm going to do some micro photography, photographing some of these falling leaves, get some interesting artsy-fartsy pictures. So come along and enjoy this adventure. For you people that are not familiar with North Carolina is divided into three distinct areas. The Outer Banks, that would be along the coastal area of North Carolina. The center part of the state, which is called the Piedmont, and then the mountains. Now, when it comes to foliage and color changes, the coast and the Piedmont have basically the same thing. The leaves either turn yellow or brown. They don't have those beautiful oranges like they do in the mountains. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to the mountains this year, so I'm going to try to take advantage of where I am right now and see if I can take some interesting, not so much dramatic photos of trees or anything like that. I'm going to try and focus on just the leaves on the ground or in branches. Let's see what interesting artsy-fartsy pictures I can find. And I'm kind of excited about this. This is something that I kind of push myself to try and do every year because it's not a photography I'm not very good at, and I really want to be better at this. The first image I'm taking today is of some leaves sitting in a pond here. This is again a really artsy-fartsy picture. And one thing that I have to say that's frustrating me a little bit here is as soon as I said that we have yellow and brown leaves in this part of the state, I'm looking in here, there's a bunch of red leaves in here. These are maples. There's not a lot of maples here in North Carolina, but obviously there are some. And these leaves floating on top of the water is acting like a mat that's floating over the water. Now we're in the middle of a drought here in North Carolina, so the water in this pond or this brook is not flowing, so it's acting like still water. Even with that said though, there's a small breeze that's blowing through, so that might add a little bit of movement to the photo, not a lot. So I am shooting at ISO 100 f9 because I want to kind of focus through the water. The water's a couple inches deep, and see if I can get those leaves that have sunk to the bottom and make it like a contrasting kind of image. And I'm trying to see what's going to happen here. I'm not that optimistic about this, but if this picture's any good, here it is. This is a classic bridge scenario. I got a brook coming through here, a log going across it, so it's forming a bridge across this thing, almost as if it's symbolically crossing the brook. This is a classic artsy-fartsy image. I have leaves all in the brook. I have these dull light that's right here, so I really believe this photo is going to lend itself to being black and white. I really like it. The other thing I like about this image is there's another log that's coming up underneath it. But I really like it. I'm shooting at f13 because I really want everything to be in focus. I am shooting at ISO 100, and that's giving me a shutter speed of 1 second. I believe this picture is going to be pretty good as a black and white image, and the main reason for that is this light is so flat and there's absolutely no color in this image here. Now I do have a little bit of wind coming through here, so I'm really hoping that 1 second is enough to get this image without everything moving in the background, but we'll see. If this image is any good, here it is. Alright, so this image here is a little tricky for me. So what drew me to the image was that the sun came through the clouds and these yellow leaves started glowing. So what I want to do is capture that. To get that image though, I have to wait for the light to come through the clouds cover to break long enough for the sun to come through the cloud cover. I also have a second problem. It's there's a breeze coming through and it's going up and down. And it seems to be as soon as the sun comes through the clouds, the breeze really starts to blow. Couldn't be the fact that all that energy hitting the planet is causing it. And what I'm doing is basically focusing on the leaf, wait for that good light to occur, and take the image, and I have to kind of catch it between the breezes and when the sun's out. So if this image is any good, I'll be taking several dozen images. So if this image is any good, here it is. Well, I wanted to show that you just didn't have to go out when everything is perfect to photograph, fall colors. You can get some really interesting pictures even when these leaves may not be at their peak colors. And for most of us, that's not really an option. We can only go out and photograph when we have the opportunity to go out and photograph. So I encourage you to go out there, even if you think the leaves have passed their prime, and see what images you can take. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel because that really helps us in the YouTube world. Become a Patreon supporter. Your support allows us to keep doing this. My name is Sean Leahy. I want to thank you for watching.